All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my Sunday stock watch. So, tomorrow, going into tomorrow, Monday, October 13th, it's actually a bank holiday, Columbus Day. So, the stock market's open, but it's going to be really low volatility, low volume. I suggest not trading. I'm going to watch the market, see if there's a potential setup, especially after Friday's price action. But my hopes are very low. So most likely won't be taking a trade tomorrow. Just want to make sure you guys are aware of that. I'm going to go over the economic calendar. Government is still shut down. If you don't know this, the government is still shut down, which means we do not get any economic data coming out, essentially. And we're still waiting on non-farm payrolls to come out from 2 weeks ago. So not the greatest. And then especially after Friday, I'm sure you already know we had, $20 downside move on SPY and QQQ, which, yeah, that was a pretty crazy ride. So, just taking that into account, tomorrow's price action, we'll see how it looks. Might be pretty fun. But for Monday, we don't have any news. Banks, everything's closed besides the stock market, essentially. And then Tuesday, we actually have a couple Fed speakers pre-market, or one Fed speaker pre-market, and then we have Powell speaking about 3 hours after market open. Interesting. So we'll see how that one goes. And then Wednesday, a couple Fed speakers, but no news there really. And again, I don't know if these Fed speakers will actually speak since the government is shut down. It just depends. And then on Thursday, we have a couple more Fed speakers going on. And yeah, so looks like I'm not sure what all of this is, but looks like that is the data that we are not going to be seeing. But my bad. So yeah, that data is the one that so we were supposed to see, I guess, CPI and PPI come out this week, and they've now rescheduled it since the government is still shut down. So if the government opens back up, this will come out next week. So that is, yeah, that's something to take into account. Government is still shut down. That's not great for us day traders. It's going to be very low volume, low volatility, not a whole lot going on there. And then I guess we have a couple Fed speakers again on Friday. So something to take into account and look forward to. Now let's check out overnight market, which just opened about 2 minutes ago. SPY is already up $7. QQQ's up $8, back to around almost 600. SPY is back to 660 almost. And then some crypto names. We got crypto names up quite a bit, which is good to see. I like that. MSTR is actually not up a whole lot yet. But yeah, Coin's already up $8. Circle's up $7. Meta's up 14. Tesla's up $11. So yeah, this is gonna look a lot different from Friday close. As we know, we close very low on Friday. That was like the heat of all the downside. We got a ton of it near close. So yeah, this is gonna look quite different going into tomorrow. But let's have a little look. So for QQQ general expectations, so we're back at this almost 600 area. So if we take a look at the hourly, that hourly looks crazy, but general range I'm expecting for QQQ, and I'm not generally expecting more. I would love to see more downside, but with the government still being shut down, I don't think we'll see that much downside. I really think we're going to be kind of choppy, especially tomorrow will probably be very choppy just because bank holiday. So that's all I'm thinking. And then for Tuesday, with Powell speaking later, we'll see. But there's no data coming out. So just depends. But since we're currently still trading back at this like 600 range right here, I think we could definitely trade back up into that 604, 605, and I would like to see a reject on that area. I would not like to see QQQ retest the all-time high, but instead retest this value high area where volume was the highest at this 604.60. So I would like to see QQQ do that sometime this week. I think for tomorrow, we just need to break fully back above 600, maybe hold around here. We might go up to 602, reject, and stay between like 599, 600 to 602 is my general range going into tomorrow. Again, like I said last week, still kind of blind, I feel like, going into this because we don't know when the government will reopen. We do know that if it does reopen, we will see data come out next week, CPI and PPI data, anyways. So that's something to not be too worried about. But that's the general range I'm expecting. And if we do see a hard reject at 604, like I talked about, I would love to see us dip back into 590 range on QQQ. I don't think we will go lower than that. Um, so that's kind of the general range is like 590 to 604, which is what I want to see on QQQ. A little bit of ping pong there. But yeah, so SPY is now trading back around 660. I think it's still at like 659. Yeah, so now we're back at 660. We're trading above there. So general range on SPY, same sort of idea. I would like to see us reach up and potentially reject this 666 range because I know that is a strong resistance area and a strong supply zone as we've seen in the past. So I would love for us to reject that 666 if we do end up trading into there, reject off there. And then I would expect to see a bounce more at this like 656 area, even 655. I don't think we're going to trade all the way back into 646. So generally that is what I'm expecting tomorrow and going further into this week. Those are the general ranges on QQQ and SPY. Now for some other names, like first things I'll go over are crypto names because that's what I'm mostly watching. So Bitcoin is now back at 115. And if you watch my Instagram story, you know I bought some Solana. So I bought Solana when it dipped back into that 175. My average cost was 180 just because I couldn't really get filled at 175. So I bought a lot of my Solana at 180 area, which was really nice. So I'm up nicely on that and already took some profits out. But definitely going to hold it for a little bit longer just to see where this price action takes us. But anyways, with Bitcoin trading back at this 115 area, what we really want to see is getting back above 116 and then potentially reaching into 117 is what I really want to see. So I don't think we'll have much of an issue getting back above 116, but again, it just depends on what we see. So that's been that general range where we can pop up and make a nice move there, but we haven't seen that just yet. So if Bitcoin can hold above 116 going into tomorrow pre-market, what I do want to see from MSTR coin, which let's take another look. MSTR is trading at 309. So we're currently trading at this 309 area. I know 314 to 312, that is a nice previous demand zone turned into supply now, which we kind of just fell through. I would love to see MSTR hold above that 114 and trade back into 320. Sorry, did I say 114? I meant 314 and trade back into 325 ideally if Bitcoin can hold 116 and continue up to 116,500 even to 117 potentially, depending on how bullish crypto is itself and the rest of the market. So that's generally what I want to see. Or we could also see Bitcoin kind of spike up into 116, reject there, and with MSTR I want to see it reject 320 and continue back lower into that 310 area. Same sort of idea with Coinbase, except Coinbase is currently trading at 365. So with Coinbase, we haven't been up at this area for too long. So ideally what I want to see is us break back above 370 on Coinbase and potentially trade into 380, 385. But still kind of a reach in my opinion. I think coin is a little bit overvalued up here, which again doesn't really mean much for short-term trading, but something to kind of take into account. So if Bitcoin is strong above the levels that we already talked about, I want to see us trade and hold above 370 and reach up into 385. If not, we could see a rejection near 380 to 385 and continue back out, down into 365, which is what we're currently trading at. And then Circle, which I really like Circle right now, it's trading back up, and we'll go on the 1 hour. It's trading back up to 140 over here. So 145 is a huge key area for Circle. What I want to see is us trade back into 145 and get a reject there. But if we are looking really strong from 140, I could take that position on the way up to 145, and that would be my take profit. So that really just depends on Bitcoin as well. Now for the other names like Tesla, so Tesla is trading currently at 422, which is something I like to see. So since we're trading above 422, I want to see us trade back above 425 and then reach into 430 potentially. And then around 434, we could see a reject again. So just be aware those are my levels going into this. If we break above there, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw it back to 440, depending on how bullish everything is. Now, the next couple of names that I'm watching going forward, we'll go over NVIDIA real quick. So NVIDIA must be getting a nice bounce right now. I haven't exactly checked it. It's at 188. So NVIDIA is still kind of high, in my opinion. I mean, we did get a really big sell-off all the way back into 179, and now we're all the way back up here at 188. So we could see another reject at this 194 area, or if we're just extremely bullish and we bounce off of, potentially 186, I don't know, NVIDIA could maybe really rip. It just very much so depends on the general market. So yeah, oops, did not mean to do that. But a couple other names that I'm watching. I mean, that's mostly what I'm watching for, with like Coin, Circle, MSTR, Tesla, NVIDIA, and I could definitely go over Palantir. So let's take a look at Palantir. Palantir is trading at almost 180, so 179. We haven't made a huge move from Friday close, or I guess near Friday close, or on Friday we dumped all the way to 169. So pretty big difference, but I mean, ideally what I'd want to see is Palantir trade back into 176, get a bounce, continue above 180. Or if from here we just continue upwards above 180, I would like to see a reject at this upper like 185 area. So yeah, that is generally what I'm watching for and looking for going into this next week. Again, stay safe, be careful. If we get any more Trump headlines, government opens back up again, stay safe out there because we don't know exactly what could happen. Right now is not the time for any short-term swings either, especially on options. I'd be very careful going forward doing that. But anyways, as always, appreciate you guys so much for being here and for watching this, and I will see you guys all later. Thank you.